Good morning, EstateAssist community. When you logged into the app this morning, undoubtedly you noticed some pretty significant changes. And we want to take just a few minutes to walk you through those and answer a few questions and let you know where some things are going. First, you saw that the app is getting a really significant and much needed facelift. And so you're going to start seeing a much more modern and easy to navigate feel and some new technology that helps some things within the screens work better for you. So let us know your feedback on what you think about some of the new layout and features there. Second, you're going to notice that the Trust module is now live. A lot of you have been asking about that, and it is now up for your use. Please understand that's in beta form, and so there are going to be some rough edges there and some things that need fixed and changed. Maybe more importantly, we're going to want to hear your feedback about the actual documents. Obviously, the Ohio Trust Code doesn't come with standardized or local forms the same way that probate work does. We will be adding local forms for testamentary trusts, but those Ohio Trust Code needs, we are building things out, and we want to hear your feedback as to best practices and documents that you want. We want to build an amazing library for trust administrations, so let us know what you think there and what you'd like to see. But maybe the most important thing you're going to see today is related to how we deal with PDFs, documents within the system. And we made some really significant changes with new technology within the app that's designed to resolve a recent issue, but more importantly, provide our users with two features that the community's been asking for since we launched. Maybe the two features you've asked for the most. So we're really excited to make those live today. So let's go into pleadings. And the first thing you're going to see is how documents lay out a little bit differently on the screen. We've kept the two columns, one for state standard and one for local. But we've changed a little bit in terms of how you access and work with those PDFs. So first you're going to see that we don't have the links like we used to have, where you just clicked a link and it opened a fillable PDF in your browser. Instead, you're now going to see checkboxes and buttons. And these do a couple of really powerful things. First, let's look at the buttons. The buttons are for generating a new document or viewing and editing a document that you've already been working on. So when we click a button to open a document, the first thing we see is that instead of just opening the PDF within the browser, it instead opens it within this new environment within the app. And the first thing that that's going to resolve for us is for those of you who are using Microsoft Edge and maybe started seeing some problems earlier this week when Edge made permanent some of its new technology within the browser. That change had been coming for a while. We knew it was going to arrive. We had hoped we had a couple more months, but it landed over the holiday weekend. And now we want to make sure that the app works well with the Edge browser for those of you that like to use it. So this is going to resolve that issue. You can now use Edge again without any problem. This is actually being produced in Edge right now. Us opening PDFs within this environment resolves that. But more importantly, you now have a lot more power for how you deal with your PDFs. And so those editable fields that allow you to make some changes as you go can now be saved within the app, which is probably the number one thing our users have asked for since we launched. People have wanted to be able to just edit their documents on the fly and have them saved within the app rather than having to download them and things like that. And so now you have exactly that power. If we close that and we go back in and reopen that 1.0, we see that the changes that we made are saved and are still there within the system. So a really big change that you all have wanted for a long time, and we've been doing a lot of work to build that out and make it happen for you. Now, notice a couple of things about that. First, it's really not a tool to use for, say, errors that you've made in entering your data. So if you made an error in somebody's name and your interested persons, you don't want to just edit it here in this document because it's not going to save it for all the other documents. If it's something like that, go back into the screen and change it and save it. Say, change the name in the interested person screen or change the data in your case details. But if you're wanting to make additions or edits otherwise throughout the documents, you can do that and save it, and you're going to still have your data when you reopen those documents later. That should save you a lot of time from having to download everything to your computer all the time. Second, we see over here that we can regenerate documents. So if you just made some edits, say some annotations for someone to review, so you can make little notes throughout the document for someone on your staff or on your team to review. You can then get rid of those by just regenerating the document, which is going to take it back to just the original data from the app. So those edits will then go away and you can save that. Also, you'll see that there's now a print button and a download button to be able to download those documents. And by the way, when it downloads them, it's going to download them as static PDFs, no longer editable. So it's going to be easier for you to get those and share them with others or put them up to an e-signing platform or anything like that. The other thing we have now is the checkboxes. And so if we go through and check several documents, we are going to get batch access, which people have wanted for a long, long time. And it's a huge time saver. So you can now go through and select the documents that you want, click View/Print, and it is going to pull all of those documents simultaneously in one big PDF for you. And again, you still have some ability to edit within those. You can print the whole stack or you can download the whole stack as a static PDF. Again, easier to email to people or print all at once or whatever you'd like to do. So no more having to deal with your documents one at a time, printing one at a time or emailing one at a time. You can now deal with everything in batch form. So we know those are two really big powers that you have wanted for a long time. We are thrilled to be able to offer them to you today. Now, admittedly, we went a little bit faster this week than we wanted. We had hoped that we had a little more time to get these changes made and release them a little later in the summer. And they require a lot of changes in the back end of the product. So we've been rebuilding significant parts of the app over the last few months. But with the change with Microsoft, we really wanted people to have the ability to use that browser still. And so moving to the new environment was necessary. And we said, hey, let's go ahead and make these things active. And we're just going to ask for a little bit of patience. I'm sure we're going to have some bumps in the road and some things that aren't working quite perfectly. We'll be making a lot of changes over the next few weeks and cleaning a lot of things up. Please send us some emails. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your suggestions. Let us know what you do and do not like, and let us know what's not working quite right for you. If you all give us a lot of feedback, we will be responsive and make sure that everything's working great for you. Please let us know what questions you have and have a great day. Thanks.